Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to what I personally consider to be the best Football Manager 2020 tactic, at least for the current patch. I've used this with Scarborough Athletic and York City. You've all probably been following both stories. With Scarborough Athletic, we've just won the lower league treble. York City, we're now in the Premier League, and in the second season in the top flight, we've just done the quadruple. So very impressive stuff. It's a two-tactic system. You've got one base tactic which you use most of the time, and the second tactic is for the really hard away games for the likes of Man City United. We'll go over all of that in just a second, as well as highlights from games and everything else you can imagine. But before then, please do subscribe and click that bell to get alerts when new episodes go live, because I don't want you missing out on other great tips and content. And if you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, give us a like, it really would be much appreciated. It's all well and good me saying that this is the best tactic I've used. You're going to want to see some proof. Well, here it is. With Scarborough Athletic, we played in the Northern Premier League Premier Division and won promotion to the National League North. We did it with 112 points, well clear Stalybridge Celtic, but that wasn't the impressive part. Look at this long winning run that we went on here. That's all with just the one system. We even beat 3 National League teams. That's 2 divisions above us, including winning the final of the FA Trophy against Dover Athletic. Let's take a quick look at a couple of the goals that we scored. And now for my York City save. We won the title in the 7th season on 99 points. This was the first season I started using this 4-4-2 system. And as you can see, very similar results to the Scarborough save, other than losing 4-2 to Barcelona away after we'd already wrapped up qualification for the final. We won the quadruple in this. We beat Man United 2-1 in the final, Brighton in the FA Cup final, and Wolverhampton Wanderers in the League Cup. But to get to those finals, we had to play some very difficult teams. Let's have a look at a couple of the goals from the York City save. Okay guys, hopefully that's only whetted your appetite for both the systems. We'll begin with the attacking system in just a second, but a quick note, this is made by Knap from the SI Games forum. He's an absolute legend when it comes to tactics, makes some superb systems. It's been shared around some other sites already, so I thought I'd do my own review since I've used it so heavily, and I could offer a bit of advice on how it should be used as well. The next thing to note as well, you must download this tactic. Don't try and copy it, because if you do, it will not work. There's far too many instructions and the set pieces are vital. You will get a lot of goals if you download it. And last and finally, make sure you watch this video all the way through to the end, because there's a lot of important tips coming up that if you miss, this may not work as well for you. There's going to be links in the description itself to take you to the downloads. But don't go there just yet, watch the rest of the video first to make sure you've got all the information to hand that you need. So the attacking system, it's in a 4-4-2 shape, so it's really easy to find players that suit, and the roles aren't bizarre roles other than the inverted wing backs. But don't worry too much about that, they are in that way for a specific reason, which we'll go over. The system itself is attacking. You play out of defence, but you're quite fairly wide, so you do use those wingers. You work the ball into the box and you look for the overlap. It's a direct system because you do pick that ball out over the top to the strikers, and you're using a higher tempo to be able to do that, as well as run at the defenders. It's a counter press and counter attacking system, so you'll look to hit your teams on the counter and really harass them the second you lose possession. And use a very high line of engagement as well as a high defensive line. So it can be a risky approach, but I found it works really well. Using tighter marking and getting stuck in can lead to a lot of yellow cards. We'll go over a fix for that in just a second, but you also extremely urgent on your pressing. So again, it's an urgent tactic that tries to win the ball back quick and hit teams hard. On the yellow cards and red cards, because you will see them if you don't note this, during the game, if you are picking up yellow cards, make sure you go into the player's instruction. So you'll click on the player's thing there, go into edit, and then click ease off tackles. Do that in game when they get a yellow card, otherwise they may well get sent off. For the really hard away games, so I'm talking Man United away, Manchester City away, those types of games, and I use this in the Champions League final against Manchester United, you want to be switching, ignore it, wrong system, you want to be switching to this system here. So this is the cautious version of the tactic. Again, both are going to be in that link I'll leave in the description to download. The only variance between them is your cautious, and your attacking width is more narrow, and we've taken off the get stuck in instruction as well as taken that off the player instructions. It works much better doing this, and I found while we play worse we get far better results in those massive away matches. I didn't use this at all though in my Scarborough save in the lower leagues, and you'll also find that if you look at the opposition report before the game, check what type of football they're going to play. If they're going to play quite an attacking or a controlled game, I would stick with the attacking system. If your report comes back and says they're going to play a cautious or a defensive game, this is only against the big teams away from home, remember, switch to the cautious system, because when they play cautious, they will hit you on your counter press. Very complicated, but it does work. And then onto the set pieces quickly. These are really, really important, guys. So on the attacking set pieces, you'll see you'll take a short corner option or you'll swing the ball in, but everybody's specifically assigned a certain role within that system. The throw-ins are vital. I've seen so many goals go in from throw-ins, it is unbelievable. And that's set up in a specific way to exploit the throw-ins. Same from free kicks yet again. To show you exactly what I mean, my right back and my left back don't really get forward very often, yet they've got 12 assists, and 17 assists. That's a lot of assists between them. That's all come pretty much from throw-ins, so that's how important the throw-in routine is. Like with any system, guys, trying to put round pegs in square holes doesn't work, so you need to make sure you have the right players for the right roles, which I'll explain to you now. The sweeper keeper, I will try and get someone who's good with one-on-ones in this position, because the opposition are probably going to get chances. You've got ball-playing defenders, so if you can get someone who can play with the ball and can pass, that would be ideal, but I'd rather have someone who's good in the air and not too slow. The inverted wing backs tend to sit a little bit narrower. They cover for players that are more attacking, but they do also get on the overlap. So you're going to want players with a little bit of speed about them and decent technical ability. They will look for those passes over the top. So if you can get someone who can pass, that would be an added bonus. The wingers are massive in this system. You can use inverted wingers if you want. They will cut inside. I've had a player called Hamilton in my Scarborough save who scored 20 goals doing that from the left side, and he's right-footed. So don't worry about that, but do not change the role. Keep the role as it is. Or you can just use a traditional winger like Denea in my York save. He's got 12 assists from that specific role. The deep line playmaker needs to have very good passing ability. He needs to be the maestro of the team. I've got someone in my Scarborough save who sits deep and he finds that ball over the top to the strikers all the time. Your box-to-box midfielder, you want someone with great speed and really good ability on the ball. He's going to pick it up deep and he's going to run forward and push play up the pitch for you. Todorovic has been amazing for me doing that, duly down to his speed and his great ability on the ball. And he can also pick out a pass as well. The strikers are the most important part of the system though. Get these guys wrong and it won't work. The most important thing to note is they need speed. If they've got speed, they won't get in behind and you'll get far less goals. If you can get someone who's decent in the air, that'll help as well, because you've got those long throws coming in all the time, so they're going to be able to get on the end of those. But speed is the most important thing with strikers, and if they can make their own chances, if they can dribble as well and they've got a little bit of skill about them, then that will be all the more better. Now if you get towards the 70th, 75th minute in a game and you're winning and you want to hold on to the lead and you're a little bit worried about conceding, you'll probably be using this attacking tactic based on that. What you need to do is switch attacking to cautious and go into in transition and switch hold to shape and regroup. Just those settings, that's all you need to change and carry on the game. I don't think I've lost a lead doing that yet. It's not to say that you won't, but it works really well for me. And if you find that your strikers are underperforming in the game, don't be afraid to substitute them, because very often a new striker coming onto the pitch can work an absolute charm. The opposition don't mark him as tightly, and you get that impetus as long as you've given him a good morale boost before he goes on. Right guys, and now for the really important tips. Please do heed these. Some of them I've already repeated more than once, probably more than twice. That's because they're that important. Download the tactic, don't try and copy it, it won't work. Too many instructions, set pieces are vital. Please just download it, you'll save yourself a whole lot of hassle. Ensure that if your players do get booked, you go into the individual player instruction and tell them to ease off tackles. When coming up away from home in the really big games, so like against Man City, Man United, those types of teams, and especially when they're going to play a cautious or defensive mentality, make sure you use the cautious system during that time. Load in this tactic in pre-season as quick as you can. Tactical familiarity is massive in the game, and if you don't have it, you won't do very well. Note down each player, they've got tactical familiarity as well. I've got one here called Strickland, whose tactical familiarity isn't very good. Now he's competent with the mentality, but he's awkward in the position and role. That is really important. That's like putting a round peg in a square hole. You can ram as much as you want and keep trying, but it ain't going to work. So basically, he doesn't suit the deep line playmaker role. That's what the problem is. You need fast strikers, you need fast wingers, and don't get slouches at centre back. I'd go for 10 or above on pace and acceleration, otherwise you may get caught out. Aerial presence at centre back is quite important really, and like I say, strikers that can do a little bit of everything will do very well for you. The wingers can cut inside, so don't worry too much about that if that's the type of winger that you've got. And on a final note that I've not mentioned yet, when you download the tactic in the link in the description, also scroll down to the bottom. There's a top tips section so you can revisit everything that we've mentioned so far, but also there's a link in there to some training schedules. Get them downloaded. They've worked a charm for me. They create more chances, that's what they're specifically made for. There's one for big games, so like cup finals, that'll help you win those. I've not lost one this year since I've been using them. And they'll also help you manage the team's recovery and get you through pre-season all well and fit. Okay guys, I think that's about everything. If you've got any questions at all, jump in the comments, chuck them in there. I'll be more than happy to help. And if this has been helpful at all, and if you enjoy the tactic, please give us a thumbs up. It helps the channel massively. Put a lot of time into this sort of stuff, so I would appreciate it. And subscribe and hit the alert bell button to not miss out on any future uploads. We've got a Sea Dogs Can Fly series going on at the moment, which is me playing with Scarborough Athletic. We just got promoted from Tier 7 and it is a really good save. The club means a lot to me, so it's quite a personal one as well, with a bit of a backstory to it. I suggest that you follow that. It should make some good viewing and you'll get a lot more tips by watching me play the game as we go along. Okay guys, I'm going to stop boring you now and I'm going to sign off at that. Thank you very much for watching the whole thing, and I hope this tactic helps you. See you later, chaps.